All right, so good morning, everyone. While you guys are downloading the Carnegie One app, I just posted it in the group chat on WhatsApp, so you could download that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. My name is Justin Griffin. I'm with Carnegie Title. I'm your dedicated sales rep for Keller Williams Park Views. I just wanted to talk about what makes Carnegie Title a little different than other title companies. First and foremost, we are a partnership with Bergen County Partners, who's the owner of Keller Williams Park Views. So we're under the same umbrella. That means that we're kind of on the same team and we're all pushing towards the same goal. Secondly, one distinct difference between us is we offer shareholder opportunities to our KW agents only. And what that means is you can buy in to become a shareholder in the company and earn passive income based off of the performance of the company. So this isn't based off of your individual performance, but it's basically how if the company overall does well, your investor checks become bigger. And 100% of our net profits as a company go right back to the shareholders. So it's really just very important that you understand that we are partners with you in that way. A couple other things to hit, a couple other points. We'll kind of play like a did you know game about Carnegie Title. Did you know that as a KW agent, upon your closing, that your commissions are wired free of charge right to the market center, so that you get paid right away? No more waiting at the mailbox for your check to come in after a closing, chasing people down, and FedEx tracking numbers and anything like that. We want to make sure that you get paid fast because you worked real hard for that commission. We want to make sure you get it. Did you know that between our partnership with Bergen County Partners and Keller Williams, but also our parent company, Foundation Title, you have over 25 different locations throughout the state of New Jersey where you can coordinate closings. Just for example, one of our agents here in Rutherford was looking for some help down in Cumberland County, all the way down at the bottom of New Jersey. And because of our relationship, we were able to facilitate that. So again, keeping in mind, we always want to do what's best for your buyers, and having that flexibility and those relationships really is important. Did you know that when you do a closing with Carnegie Title, at the end, within 72 hours, you will get a custom Excel spreadsheet with potential listings for you based off of properties within 1 mile of the location. So this could be what it does is it pulls from about 11 different triggers that will compile a list of potential listings for you, whether it's an affidavit of death, divorce, out-of-state owners, notice of probate, notice of sale, legal action, bankruptcy, for sale by owner, evictions, and for lease by owner. So any of these things would show up if they are available, would show up on that free lead generation sheet that you get at the end of a closing, and that's through our Smart Leads program. We also have what's called our DigiDocs program, digital docs, so that when your buyer closes, all of their closing documents get uploaded into this shared or a private platform for them, where they can access those documents at any time. Where this is important to you as realtors is this is a sales and marketing touch for you. If you, let's just say they go and access a particular document, what will happen is the system will automatically send them an email saying, I see that you've accessed this document. This is, if you're thinking about possibly selling your house or refinancing, just a reminder that your agent was so-and-so from Keller Williams Park Views, and it puts your face and your information right in front of your buyer again. So this is something that we do complimentary as as part of working with us. And then additionally to that, the other thing that we can do for you is we can pull custom marketing lists for you, whether it's you're putting together a mailing campaign or a door knocking campaign. But we can be as specific as if you want, within 3 square blocks of whatever address and you want all the houses that have 65% more equity or however, we can get really creative with the information we pull for you and make sure that you're as successful as possible. So that's just a couple of key reasons why you want to and why you should work with us. And again, I said at the beginning of this, there's a lot of different title companies out there who want your business, but you really got to ask yourself what your title company is doing to help grow your business. And that's where Carnegie Title separates ourselves from everybody else. So that being said, what we will do is, and I'll answer questions about any of these programs or things that I talked about. We can answer that at the end. Or just put them in the chat and we'll answer them, at the right time. But we'll just get started. So just use this thing here. Yep. All right, cool. Nope. All right, well, some technical difficulties.
Hold on, it might be frozen. Hold on. There we go.
All right. So we're going to keep this part super fast and super basic because, as I said before, title insurance is pretty boring, but it's super important for for you guys to understand so you can explain it to your buyers, because every lender is going to require that you have a title insurance policy, and every homeowner should have a title insurance policy when they purchase a home. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to protect the lender and the homeowner against any loss resulting from defects or something that wasn't uncovered in the title search, that wasn't specifically listed as an exemption, because there are things that do get listed. But basically this is an insurance policy that goes into effect at the time of closing that covers you for as long as you own it, but it also covers you retroactively. So let's just say something happened and got missed in 1985, your title insurance company will protect you against that claim. So is this working out? Nope.
Question for you.
Sure.
Is it absolutely mandatory to have title insurance on every single deal?
It is not.
Oh, interesting.
No, but no lawyer and no lender is going to let you proceed without having title insurance.
A one-time fee that
We're
you pay.
going to get to that. But it is not like, so I've actually had once in the last year where a lender got the policy, but the homeowner denied it. They said that we don't want it. And it was really silly because it was $125. And they said that they didn't want to spend the additional $125 to have a lifetime of protection on their property, which to me is bonkers, but this is the world we're living in. So once you go under contract and you're out of attorney review, typically your attorney will then wait sort of after inspections to make sure that you're really fairly confident that you're going to go forward with the transaction. And that's when we do what's called the title search. So basically, as the slide says, fancy way of saying who has the right to own the property. And we need to make sure that there's no hidden claims, long lost relatives, liens, which could be anything from a mechanic's lien or a solar company. That's really popular. That comes up a lot with solar panels. So anything that we need to be aware of, we're going to find in a title search. Go ahead and go to the next one. Typically, just so you know, an average search, depending on the county, will take anywhere from 3 to 5 days. Could take up to 7 days if depending on the county, and some of these different locations are a little bit faster to respond to stuff than others. But this is what we search. So we're going to search all for deeds, land records, like I said, tax liens, whether federal and state, cases of divorce, bankruptcy court records, and basically all financial judgments against an owner. So again, this could be anything from a mechanic's lien up until anything that would be on there. But this is, we want to make sure that there's nothing that will prevent you as the buyer or your buyers from owning that property outright. So you can go to the next one. So who needs title insurance? Again, as the question was asked, it's not 100% mandatory, but really your buyers, when they're purchasing it, and every borrower, when you refinance, is always going to insure title insurance because, listen, as much as we depend on digital and all of that stuff, this is still a human business where things get recorded manually or somebody has to enter something in a computer, and mistakes happen. So why wouldn't you want to protect yourself against a mistake? But also one of the big ones is fraud. There's a lot of identity theft going on around out there. Title insurance will protect you against that. Oh, so this is it. So yeah, so this is what, you know, we can talk about as far as what it protects you against. Gaps or errors in the chain of title. So like if something, you know, a property was sold multiple times, and something got screwed up in that chain of title, this would protect you against, you know, somebody else saying that they own it when you actually own it. Identity theft, which is a really big one. I get a lot of questions about this. If anybody's been up at 4 o'clock in the morning watching the infomercials for LifeLock and all of these things, this is basically a fancy, you hear it on the radio, right? The ads. But LifeLock is basically a fancy way of just having a title policy. You don't need to purchase anything additionally for your home. This, unfortunately, this is like one of those things where they prey on seniors to get them to be nervous about losing their home, and they get them to buy this extra service, which they do not need. Undisclosed heirs, you know, unfortunately this happens, you know, with large families, and, you know, people are put on things or come out of the woodwork and have a legit claim to a property. If that is the case, title insurance will protect you about that. Again, we talked about improperly recorded documents that, you know, unfortunately does happen. This is a big one, and I'm sure that some of you agents have seen this. So when your attorney orders title, the first thing we do is we ask them if they want us to order a survey. It's not necessary. We can accept a survey with an affidavit if it's less than 10 years. However, we always encourage people to order a survey for this encroachment, overlaps, or boundary disputes. We get a lot of this stuff when people go to put up a fence or a shed on their property, and they found out that the survey is wrong and part of their land is not their land. Title insurance will help protect you if for some reason there was an error that doesn't go in your favor. So very important to have it, but that's a big one. Unfortunately, you know, we live in a very densely populated area. If you've ever done any work in Hudson County, you know that it can be an absolute mess with the tax records and the property lines. So title insurance, super popular super important to have. And then basically any dispute regarding ownership, you know, so this is what Janine was hinting to before. Title insurance premium is a one-time fee paid at the closing. This cost is set by the state, and it's based off of the purchase price of the property. So a lot of people will come to me and say, oh, well, I got a better price from another title company. They can do it cheaper. They can't do the cost of the insurance cheaper. That's set and fixed by the amount that the property is being sold for. Where the cost difference is, there are settlement fees and other fees associated with the closings. That's where some title companies may differ in price. However, if you go to CarnegieTitle.com, you don't have to for this, but there is a free title cost calculator on there. So simply you would just pick purchase, you put in the sale price and the loan amount, and it would spit out and give you a detailed line itemized proposal of what it was, including how much the title premium is, and then all of the other miscellaneous and the associated fees. If anybody wants to go through that and they have a property that they're doing, just call me. I can walk you through the website. Unfortunately, our website is not as slick and as cool and user friendly as our app. So, but I can help you navigate that.
So even if, let's say, Carnegie maybe isn't the most, isn't the cheapest option, you're certainly not going to get the same benefits that you would from other title
Not
agencies.
necessarily. Most of their title fees in general, outside of a couple, are set by the state on a base percentage.
Yeah, so
In
all of our stuff
In
is
New Jersey.
published too. So I will say, like, you know, there are some title companies that are smaller in operations that have smaller overheads, and they do things at a little bit of a less, but we're pretty much right in the ballpark with industry standards. Like, you're not, and honestly, I've looked at other title companies quotes, and we're cheaper. So it's like, it honestly does, it really doesn't matter.
And if
And-
ABC title is cheaper, that doesn't necessarily mean you're still reaping all of the benefits. You're not gonna be getting this leads list that you referred to.
Exactly. So we do feel that if there was, and again, if there was a few $100 difference between pricing, the benefit to you, the comfort knowing that you have somebody in-house to answer your questions and work with you if there is an issue, I feel that outweighs any drawback financially. So when do you order title? So this is what we kind of hinted at before a little bit. We talked about this. Typically, your attorney will order it after the inspection are settled, if there are any. If it's a cash deal, they'll order it pretty much as soon as attorney review is concluded. If it's a refi, your loan officer will do that after the appraisal comes in. But the next slide is probably the most important slide here.
Before we get there,
Yeah.
I have a question from Agnes in the chat. Can a current homeowner get title insurance if it was not purchased at closing?
Yes,
Yes. Great answer. Great question.
they would have to do a whole search, and you know what I mean. They can't just purchase it.
It's
Yes,
possible.
it is possible. There would probably have to be some sort of refinance or something in there, but yes. This is the most important, I think, for everybody to understand, and Janine can weigh in on this in a second. But basically, on your new contracts, there is, on your new contracts, there is a section at line 137 where the buyer selects a company as the closing agent. And this is where you can put either your title company, attorney, or other entity who's going to act as the closing agent. Now, Carnegie Title is a full service, not only title insurance, but we act as a closing agent as well, a settlement company. So this is where you could write this in after you have a discussion with your buyer. And this is the most important part. So although the attorney is the one who orders it, it's ultimately the buyer's decision. And that's the real thing. So when you're doing your buyer presentation and you're filling out the contract, don't just gloss over this section. Talk to them and say, hey, obviously you have a ton of choices when it comes to title. I'm not telling you who to use. I'm just giving you a suggestion that we've worked with Carnegie Title in the past, and they've always done right by us and our buyers. This is an option for you. And if they trust you like they should, this should be no issue. So when it goes to the attorney can come back and say, well, I always use ABC Title. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Attorney, I've already spoken with my buyer. This is who they want to use. And that's an easy way for you to control how it goes. You just have to be careful because you can't just write Carnegie Title in there without talking to the buyer. I mean, our broker's in the room, so I got to be very careful. We all want to stay compliant, and again, we're not trying to make anybody do anything they don't want to do. But I think it's your job and ultimately your responsibility to present them with what you feel is the best option for them. And if Carnegie Title is it, then that's that. So at this point, that's sort of the overview on title. Again, we're not going to get too deep into all the different things that we could talk about, but I will open it up to some questions if there's anything title related before we talk about the Carnegie Agent One app.
Anyone out in Zoom land, feel free to unmute yourselves or pop it in the chat. Any title questions that you have, and we'll get into the app in just a moment.
No, but I do want to go back to the contract. That's a conversation you have when you first sit with your clients before you even go look at homes. Just like when you talk about mortgage, you talk about the buying process. Part of the buying process is title. You can't close without title at all, whether it's cash deal, mortgage, or not. So this is where you can talk to them and, inform them about Carnegie Title.
So yeah, and again, if anyone has taken a buyer consultation class with Ron, this is part of his buyer presentation. He includes this in there to make sure that his buyers understand what title is. Because I know when I bought my first house, they just breezed right over it. Like, here, just sign here. You're gonna have to pay for this. Okay, and I just paid for it, but I didn't understand what it was. So this is really important. It's doing the right thing by your buyer. I think that's important.
Awesome.
All right. Well, let's go into this. And again, at the top of the hour, we really talked about, there's a lot of different title companies out there that are asking for your business, but we are trying to help you improve and gain more business. The Carnegie Agent One app, basically, it's got a bunch of different features in there, but it's all designed to be to help you as a realtor be more successful. So obviously you see it does seller net sheets and a bunch of different calculators, but we'll just quickly go through the slide, and then what we'll do is Amanda can actually bring up the app on the screen and we can just play around with it a little bit and show some stuff. So here, what's nice about this is that you can edit all of the details in here. So whether it's, you have a confirmed interest rate or down payment, everything, you can, so go to the next one. Yeah. So this is if you're sitting with a buyer, you can choose, you can enter the home price, the actual home address that pulls the actual taxes. So you can really see like very, very accurate information so that your buyers are going into it very, very well prepared. But what's nice for you is that if you scroll down or go down, next one. Like I said, there's a lot of things that you can change in here, the fees and whatnot to edit to make it, if you talk to your lender or whatnot. But if you go to go down 2 slides actually. Yeah, so this is like when once you punch everything in, and we'll do this together, this actually gives you a really nice visual that you can then sit and have a conversation with your clients about. You can start to move numbers around to fit what their needs are. But really what's nice is that when you share it with them via email or text, it gives like a full report. So they can actually have something that they can take home with them, or you could print out in advance and bring with you to leave behind. But it's a really nice visual that is very all-inclusive of all the things that they would need to know. So we're going to go through this in a second, but this is just what the buyer estimate part looks like. Now, on the flip side, there's a seller net sheet. Also very important if you're going to a listing presentation, maybe you want to present and prepare like 2 or 3 of these at different prices so that you could have them out there and they could see exactly what they're going to net depending on, what you list the home for and based off of what they still owe and things like that. So there's a lot that it can do. You can keep going down. I mean, again, this is like, honestly, the presentation of this is like, it's great, but it's so much easier just to get into the app and start messing around. So really, I would encourage, like, if Amanda, if you can get that up on the screen, we'll just start doing like a buyer estimate. And
we're gonna try, people. Hopefully this is one class. Don't have a tech issue.
Do I need to use the KW email to sign up? No, any email.
any email will work.
I just did this.
It'll ask you who your rep is. You could pick me, this way I can help you.
Who's James Craft?
He works for our parent company,
Oh.
but he helps, yeah.
Why is his name?
All right, so we're gonna follow along with Amanda's phone. And if you can open the app for me, that would be
And this is
super
my dog Winnie, for everyone who doesn't know. Winnie Peach DeMarco.
All right, so real quick, we're gonna kind of just go over the lower part of the screen. You see that it's highlighted in blue where it says buyer. So this is where you would go to do your buyer estimates. The second one is seller. That's where you would go to do your seller net sheets. Now, if you click on the middle button, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of different calculators that you can play with. So, if you're doing a monthly affordability or rent versus buy estimate for somebody, this is where you find that. And we're going to go through that in a second. I just wanted to give you like an overview of the app real fast. And lastly, the premium section here is where you can get infographics, social media lenses and filters that, put stuff on there. So like, for example, like here, like, so, you would do this, you would take the photo, and then this would be then, this would then become your social media filter that you could post on Instagram. Obviously the elf one is pretty funny, but there's a bunch of like really good ones here, like infographics that you can go in there and make. And when you create your profile, it won't say Carnegie Title at the bottom. It'll have your name, your picture, your contact information, so that when you put it up on your social, all that stuff there, it looks like you created it. But you know, we can get into that in a little bit, but like, I think we should just start with a buyer estimate. So has everybody got the app open and stuff? You got it? Okay. Again, you know, let's just put in under buyer. So
Okay.
yeah, so let's just put in somebody shout out an address. What's a good address?
58 Hawthorne Ave.
58
We're going on Amanda's now.
Hawthorne Ave.
Hawthorne.
Oh, it's not showing up.
It never does.
It is under the same.
Which- Okay, so if you put in the address, it's gonna give you some, using this company called HomeLink, it'll say it found an estimated annual property tax. And again, this could be accurate or not, but again, you'd have to double check this, you know, when you're really getting down to it. But you know, there's other things here that you can, you know, based off of the loan amount and like what's there. If you know that information, you could put it in there. But let's just say, you know, you want to buy this house and it's listed for 400,000. Okay, you would type in obviously 400,000. Then you have a choice: loan, you know, conventional, FHA, all cash. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's just say conventional, and we'll change it to 20% down. And the interest rate, what are interest rates at right now, Janine?
I couldn't tell you.
Let's
I
just,
was just in a room. I
let's
was
just-
asking the wrong person.
let's just say 6.5, just for argument's sake. So basically what you do is you put in as many details as you possibly can to make it as accurate as possible, and then you just hit compute. And then this will then give you, you know, your monthly payment, what you need to bring to close, all of that stuff. Now, obviously, you know, you can edit all of those. I just put 20% down just to be easy, but you want to obviously put whatever's going to make it more fitting to what your buyers can do. But the cool part about this now is when you're on this screen, not only can you hit the thing where it says detailed closing costs and see all of those, and then you can actually edit those if you have accurate numbers, like if you know what your estimated attorney fees are, and you know, based off of people that you've worked with in the past. But you could do that, or when you're on this screen, you can swipe left, and that will give you a comparison of loans. You know, so if you know, using a 20%, or if you do multiple ones, you could see that. If you swipe to the right, again, this is like just more details about the loan. So you know, there's a lot of things, but again, the visual is really nice. That helps you. And then when you go, you can hit share in the upper right, and you can send the full report.
Wait, hold on, I paused the screen sharing. I don't know, what'd I do?
Well, this is something that needs to be explained to people too. When they're looking at the prepaid costs, it's showing 4 months of taxes and 14 months of insurance. That's not necessarily true. That could be lower if you are getting a credit back from the seller.
Yeah.
Tax time.
I mean, again, it's
It's a nice estimate.
right. It's a starting point, but at the end of the day, yeah, you want to try to get as savvy as you can with the app and customize those fields so that you can give your clients the most accurate picture possible. But if you were to send this to them or print it out, this is what it would look like. So it would kind of give you, you know, a nice breakdown with the charts and then all of that stuff. And then, of course, it would include your contact details and everything like that in there. So that would be, you know, how you navigate doing a buyer estimate on the app.
You can choose different templates as well.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. Again, the app just got introduced to me about like 2 months ago, and I'm still getting used to it. So I just encourage everybody, just start messing around with it. You know, use your own property as a jumping off point, and you know, just start seeing how it comes out and check the numbers before you obviously present it to anybody. But this is something that you could definitely try.
Custom proration is right there too. That's where you could do that.
Right.
Cool. Sorry. I just
Yeah.
put it on the bottom.
No worries. So again, now if you go to the next tab over, the seller one, so same sort of concept. You can put the address. So we'll put 58 Hawthorne Ave in there. What do you want to sell the house for?
$475.
Okay. So we're gonna put 475. And, there's a bunch of stuff that you can put in here, but for today's purpose, we're just gonna say, this is what your seller net sheet would look like. You could, this is what they would net if they sold it for 475. Basically detailed closing costs, same sort of thing. All of those fields are editable to make you do this. Now, what's really handy here, I think is good. Maybe it was more relevant 2 years ago or a year ago, but multiple offers. This is if you have multiple offers. So let's just say you've got one 475, you can edit what the down payment is, who the buyer agent is, all of that, so you can keep it all organized. You keep adding them where it says add offer, you could add another one. So let's just say, 475. So this one, we're gonna say it's 480 down payment. Let's just do 3% and just do that. So then once you have that, you've got your two offers in there. Then you can also export that, send full report, so that you can look at those and compare those side by side. So again, you're doing this on your phone. You're doing this in front of a customer. It can be powerful and help you help them analyze and make a decision. So that's really, when it comes to the
Justin, one question
Sure.
on the rental transfer fee for New Jersey. Is that estimating it there at the highest level, not the senior citizen discount?
there won't be
So, and there's no option to change it.
you
so-
might be able to change it. I'd have to ask about that, but we had they told us when they rolled out the platform that they were just going to do it on
Which is fine, because the agents could then say, they're gonna know if they're dealing with a senior, so they could say that this is just an estimate based upon.
yeah. And
Senior
again,
rate
this
is
is
lower.
this tool isn't meant to be like, the final word of how much, but it's a powerful way to estimate and just put a good visual and get them to understand, but also to make you look as professional as possible. I think that's the real point. So here, if you scroll to the right on your from your seller net sheet, if you swipe to the right, the longer your house is on the market, the more it costs you. So it gives you basically a holding cost estimate too. So also another powerful visual when you're in front of somebody and they're saying, oh, well, I want to wait till the spring. I want to wait till I fix a bunch of stuff up. Well, you say to them, that's fine, that's your right. However, the longer you wait, these holding costs are going to cost you. So that's those are the first two tabs. We're not going to go into every one of these just because I think it's overkill, and we'll be approaching an hour at this point. But I really like this one, the rent versus buy. So let's just say your current rent is $2,500. And you're trying to get them to buy a house for $350. All right. You punch in all those numbers and you can kind of break it down. So their buy cost is actually less than their rent cost. You can show them what percentage of equity they'll have after 3 years and 1 month. Basically what they would net if you sell in 3 years and 1 month. But really, again, this is what helping you to understand and get your buyers motivated to either buy or to sell. That's what these calculators are for. So again, we can go through, there's a bunch of different ones in here. The monthly affordability, if you want to reverse engineer, so let's just say they want their desired mortgage payment to be $3,500 a month, right? You hit compute. Now it shows you the buying power they have at that interest rate and that down payment and all of that. So you can change it. Let's just say they have they're toying between two different lenders and two different rates. Show them, this is what you could buy if you go with this guy. This is, however it works. Again, I'm not a realtor, so I don't understand the full capabilities of how you would use this to the best of your advantage, but I do know that there's a really good opportunity for you to dig in and make it work to help you.
I think this tool, this piece right here is the fact that most people are focused on, they see the interest rate go up 0.5%.
Right.
But still realize that they're still within their budget, and that's what people focus on, even when you go buy a car, they don't wanna spend more than $300 a month, $400
Right.
a month. So this is actually gonna show them that even if they're going up 0.5%, you're still within your budget of what you can actually afford.
So I actually did this the other day on my Instagram. I just did like a story where I screen recorded myself filling this part out and showing people like, yeah, like if you want to spend, X number of dollars a month, this is what you need. It's really easy. And I encourage you guys to use this app to help you in any way you possibly can. The last thing is when you click on the premium tab, there's a free 30-day trial that you can do. If you decide that you want to, everything else in the app is free. All the calculators, you don't have to pay for it. This is if you want to use the infographics, there's custom videos in there that you can create. There's a bunch of different stuff that you can do. I will tell you that the cost is $9.99 for the year. So if for $9.99 for the year, you could have unlimited and current infographics. So every month they put out a new bundle of infographics. So the December ones just came out, but in November they had all stuff based off of the current rates, and they also had stuff.
I can't wait to see it later. There we go, that's how you use the app.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. But yeah, so every month they put out different stuff where you can. So like these are the ones for the month of December, and again, each month they'll put out a new bundle that you can do. So you're always staying fresh, you're always staying current, and I think I've talked to a lot of agents. Most of them struggle when it comes to what to post. You know what I mean? Like there's only so many pictures you can post of yourself at a showing or in front of a house. So you want to mix it up with content, that's important to buyers or sellers. But also, like I said, makes you look as professional as possible. So there's a lot of different stuff in there. So, for $9.99, I encourage you. I don't make any money off of this sale, like you purchasing it. That's the company that puts it. That's why they charge that. But I think it's very powerful stuff. There's a lot of different things in there, and you guys are very smart realtors, so you'll understand how to use those to the best of your abilities. But again, there's one of our agents out of the Fort Lee office, Liz Castillo. Is anybody, you know her?
I know the name, how does our face?
Anyway, she's really steering hard into this app, and she's posting videos. Like you can see those personalized videos. Like hit that one in just hit any one of those. Like it just gives you like stuff, and you can. Some of them you can edit, but you can share this right to your social, all your social stuff. So again, Amanda's got to do the free 30-day. Hold on.
I am, guys, I mean, kind of piggybacking off of what Justin said, social media is really hard. It's really hard to come up with fresh content and have new ideas all the time. And I haven't explored this yet, but having this at your fingertips and being able to do,
For $10 a year.
$10 a year.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Things like this are so valuable, and this is what your clients want to see. Yes, they want to see you at those open houses. Yes, they want to see your face and all the good that you're doing, but you also want to share content that's going to help them learn things that they need when they're getting ready to buy or sell or rent a property. So these infographics, especially if we can customize them, you can see sort of on the bottom what these topics are: truth or clickbait, drop-in rates, buying a house, longer houses on the market, then versus now. Right there, that's 5 weeks. If you do Infographic Wednesday, that's a great way to share valuable information with your clients. And
the other categories, I can't see on it. We know this.
Infographics, seller buy down, rent versus buying, benefits of owning a home. This is great stuff. And I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but we've all had our frustrations in Command Designs before. This is going to eliminate all those frustrations for you. So it's a great tool to explore.
It's stupid easy where you can just really like, if you plan it out, you just do it, like, you know what I mean? And it makes it so you can do it, but there's like a whole bunch of like those filters and lenses too. Like, so let's say you're at the closing table and you want to take a picture of your buyers with their bottle of champagne. there's all of these like different like frames, and so here, if you, yeah, so like, you know, said yes to the address, all of this stuff, and you can customize this, you can put your own logos in there. Obviously, this just has mine in there because it was the account we're using, but you know, you can then, you know, quickly snap a photo, throw it in there, and you're up, and you look that much more professional than your competitor.
These are really like the instant,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the one with all the balloons, but you know, that might.
to each their own.
To each
But even
their
if you're listing a property and you want to showcase different pieces of, you know, the home in your house, look, here's the kitchen, living room, this is really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot to this. Honestly, I think I've only scratched the surface of it, but my job right now is to just at least promote it and show you guys that it's there and available to you. So that's really,
The rent versus buy calculator goes to what Amanda and I were talking about last week, and that with skyrocketing rental costs, I don't think some of our agents, buyer clients or tenant clients realize that with a little creativity and sitting down with our mortgage people, they actually could afford to buy something.
yeah,
When you've got a $3,200 or $3,400 rental and you figure what the moving costs are between the fee, the first month's rent, and a month and a half security, you're over $10,000.
Most of these places you are.
yeah, it's a lot to
And,
move
you know,
into a
we've all
rental.
seen what the rental amounts are, so the rent versus buy calculator is a good starting point
I agree.
Yeah.
to have that conversation and then move your client over to mortgage to get them requalified.
Especially
Absolutely.
people looking to go into these newer apartments at $2,000 a pop for a 1-bedroom.
2,000, that's cheap.
That's
For a
cheap
1-bedroom.
these days.
Or though the brand new ones are starting, well, some between $2,000 and $2,200 for the 1-bedroom.
I know, it's
You
great.
know, so they're going in at $8,000 easily
Out of pocket.
out of pocket.
Yeah, you might as well
And
save a few more and buy a
You
house.
can buy a house, or if you don't want to own a home,
Buy a condo.
there's condos, because you're going into the same style, and you're gonna get probably a little more benefits.
Buy a condo and eventually you add it to your portfolio
And use it as a
and
rental.
you know, when you can move to a house, you use the condo as a rental income.
Then when you're old and you want to live on one floor again, you go back to your condo.
Already planning ahead, Janine, I like that. So really, guys, that's it. We're not gonna go too crazy on this. Really, I wanted you guys to understand that we have tools and things available to help you, and that's really the most important part. How you use them, that's entirely up to you, of course, but we're here and we want to make sure that you guys are as successful as possible. So, any questions?
Any other questions, guys? Feel free to pop them in the Zoom. You can unmute yourselves. Anyone here if you have a question? If not, Justin's always available. When I send out this recap email, we'll include all of his contact info. So as always, never hesitate to reach out to Justin with any title questions you may have.
And if you thought this was really good, this app, put it in the WhatsApp chat to let the rest of the office know.
Yeah.
Justin is in there, so he does respond to people.
Let's see, we got 3 people to sign up for it, so we're good. So
Nice, good job,
so,
guys.
Good job. All right, guys. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But thank you so much, and we look forward to helping all of you.
Thank you so much.